Rookie
Cross!
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm a singer. The choreography is real.
Hi, my name is Peyton, and I'm a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back with another requested reaction to another rookie boy group that just recently debuted, and we will be reacting to Just Be.
Yes, so we are reacting to a rookie boy group today called Just Be with their debut song called Damage, and it was produced by Bang Jungkook. It's in the music video title. For those of you who don't know, Bang Jungkook was the leader of BAP, an amazing boy group.
Wow.
We love him. But this is not about him. This is about Just Be, who just debuted. And we don't really know much about them, so we looked at their profile. They are a 6-member boy group from Blue Dot Entertainment. They were previously known during their pre-debut era as, Fave Boys, Play M Boys, and Blue Dot Boys.
Welcome to the Kakao family.
Yes. And that being said, let's go!
Go!
Oh, it's short. It's barely over 3 minutes.
Boss.
My turn now.
Yes. Or some sort of
Facility, yeah.
And now they're gone. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they have different numbers.
I really like the way the chorus starts with just their legs. Like the choreography.
Why is the football golden?
Ooh, levels. They gotta work out building this music.
They have to, yeah.
Oh, did he become conscious of what's happening?
Oh. And they're all like, what are you talking about, dude?
Because they're still taking it. This is like a YA dystopian novel.
Oh, this is very dystopian.
Yeah. YA because of their ages. I really like the start of the chorus, and it goes down. Don't take it, don't take it. Ooh! The 2 sides of the stage. And levels, but...
I find that so interesting though. Down.
It's like the dance version of a starting position in football.
Yeah, that's what I want. Not that it's a dance version, but it made me think of that.
And that was like the beginning of the chorus.
That's it?
What?
Oh, I'm so upset. I'm so upset right now. Are you kidding me?
Bang Jungkook, why?
I would throw this, but they're AirPods and they're
mine.
expensive and they're not mine.
Time for comments. Where to begin? Let's just talk about a few more general things about the choreography and the composition of the choreography. So many level changes, so many formation changes, and it's so pleasing to the eye. And it makes sense from like a composition standpoint because there are only 6 members, and that's not a huge number of people. The constantly changing levels and the constantly changing formations keeps the choreography sort of fresh in your mind because you are a little bit more limited in the actual formations you can do, but also because it's an even number, when you're constantly changing and also constantly shifting levels, like who's in the spotlight, you can highlight the members a lot more easily because you don't ever have a true center with an even number of people. And for a rookie boy group, highlighting each of the members is really important. You want to make sure they get their face time and like their camera time. So it's just very smart from a composition standpoint. Also, it was interesting because rather than formation change, dance, formation change, dance, where it was sort of like set, dance, they danced through the formation changes. Like they would turn or they would sort of like just all rotate as they're doing something. So it just keeps the energy going even in the more like rest moments. The energy never truly stopped because like an arm would still be extending or they would still kind of be like leaning and then go into the next thing. If you're like thinking about the qualities of a rookie boy group that we talk about a lot, that like high energy, like the dance never stops. Also, because it had the football motif, like that primed me to think a certain way. And one thing I noticed was that a lot of their choreography, like the formation changes, they'd sort of be going out and then like coming in like around a member or something. And it reminded me of the strategy boards where like the strategy of the play is to get around the defense and get to the other side. And you sort of like go out and converge into the center. So I thought that was really interesting. And then I also noticed that their actual movements sort of have the same quality too, where a lot of it, they'll be like spread out or like leaning out and then they'll come back to center. And you all may be thinking, you included, cool Peyton, they go out and then they come back in. Why is that interesting? But to me that was really interesting because it showed that they have a very clear sense of their axis. And the axis, I've never gotten to talk about this in a K-pop reaction before, is a very important concept in dancing because it's sort of like your center, like of your body, and having a good control and a good sense of where your axis is and being able to come back quickly to it actually frees you up to do more movement. So they can do things like the extended lean and then come back in. So I don't know, it's cool to me. It's probably not cool to anyone else, but I think it's cool. It's cool. Thank you. Just a couple of eye-catching things. So the arch at the beginning, I had like a visceral reaction to it. It's just beautiful and it's a really nice shot, and I love the way that the member who's doing it, I don't know his name yet, but I will, is like rolling backwards, and he's not just like arch, come back up, he actually goes and then he like lets his spine sort of flatten before he comes back up. So first of all, he's using a lot of core strength, but also like the flexibility. And then like, wow, it's just so fantastic. But I noticed the third time I watched the dance that when he goes back, he actually puts his head on one of the members' knees. And it's done so well that I didn't realize he was doing it. So that illusion is so perfect that it gives you like a really fantastic stage picture. Also, the beginning of the chorus, I don't know if I gasped out loud, I gasped in my head, but I really loved it because it really wasn't what I was expecting. Not because I knew what to expect from the song, but because from like me having watched a lot of rookie boy group debuts in the last year and a half since we've had this channel, I was expecting like go hard, like chorus drop's gonna hit and we're gonna be like jumping, and then it was like very pulled back, just their legs were moving and then they were just like dropping their arms at like each different level, and it was so satisfying to watch, and it almost made me a little bit like anxious, like, oh, what are you gonna do next? Which goes with the concept. The two sides I also commented on. I think it's during the bridge when they actually split into two groups. I thought was really interesting because the choreography there is really cool, where one side is actually doing the concentration of the dancing, but the other side is sustaining movement. And then the switch from one side to the other was really cool because the first group that's dancing jumps and sort of like pulls, and then the next group gets pulled into their movement. So it's just a really cool effect. I can stop there. I talked for a lot longer than I was supposed to. I had more things written, but it's okay.
Is there something that you really want to say?
They're mine now. Okay, thanks. Anna's turn.
So let's just go in song order. The very beginning of the song, the intro, it's the hey. That is the common theme motif established right at the beginning that is sort of in the background throughout the rest of the song. You don't really hear it in the pre-chorus and the chorus though, but it's constantly underlying for the verses. After the first chorus, it's like back at full force like it was in the intro for the transition into the second verse. That's very like chanty group sing, group chant, like an anthem, which is very fitting for like the concept that they're having. Obviously, like I said in the beginning, this reaction is about Just Be the group, but the song was produced by Bang Yongguk, and since I talk about the music, I'm going to mention like his music style, and this song was so clearly his music style of production, including the more like anthem-esque type of song and like the harshness of it, because besides just the heys, there are also more sort of like chant moments, a lot of like sort of growl, shouty sounds. Also just like the really deep groundedness of like bass. But like you mentioned, there were the moments where it's like more delicate and pulled back, like the pre-choruses. I don't want to say like delicate musically because it's not as like delicate as you would typically think of in a K-pop song where it's like the complete genre switch, because the genre didn't like completely change in this song, but it definitely was pulled back more. That being said, I think it is now time for me to talk about the song structure. First, before I go into this, let's talk about the typical structure of a K-pop song, which is like a small intro, verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, final chorus, and then maybe an outro. And then one of the first 2 choruses is longer because they'll have like a dance focused section of it. The structure of this song is sort of intro thing. Verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, verse 2, pre-chorus, chorus. Everything is normal up to then, and then what you think is the bridge is actually the outro of the song, and then the song ends. If you aren't focusing on how long the song has been, you think it's the bridge because like the way that the song style, structure, function has changed is very typical of like how most bridges would happen. And then like you expect like there to be another chorus after it because it's left open-ended, but the song just ends instead. And like I feel like I should have seen it coming if I was focusing on like how far we were in the music video, because I even commented on the beginning of the reaction. I was like, oh, it's only 3 minutes long. But like also the second chorus is longer than the first chorus was. Like they have that extra addition where they're like focusing more on dancing because it's just the instrumental. You hear additional ad-libs on top of that too. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting to do in like a second chorus. Usually that only happens in a final chorus. It was the final chorus, so it makes sense. But then the reason why I'm so, I don't want to say upset, because I'm not like angry, but I'm just like put off a little bit, like I'm a little uncomfy with the ending of the song, is because it's very open-ended. When you think of a scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, it doesn't resolve back to do, the starting note, like the key that the song is in. If you think about it, on the last note that you hear that's being sung, it's 4, it's fa, which is fine. There are many songs that end on that kind of note, right? That interval. But the last note that you hear in the entire song is an instrument. It's that sort of chime that you've been hearing. It's actually 2 notes. Perfect fifth. Songs can end that way too. It's the 5. The other note is the 3, but it's not mi because the song is in minor, so it's me, which means it's a half step lower than you typically think. Minor keys are off-putting and kind of crunchy. 3 and 5 are notes that you would typically hear in like a triad if you're starting on do, so 1, 3, 5. But the do is missing, so it could also be 3, 5, 7 with the notes that you have present, which is like a very strange chord to end a song on. It's very off-putting. It's open-ended. There's no closure. But it's like interesting based on the music video because like the last shot that you see is just them. I think the doors of the facility that they were in are open. So clearly there's like a storyline happening, and in the song musically as well, like it's left so open. So I wonder what their comeback is going to sound like. Their first comeback, will it be like musically a continuation as well? I'm done. Sorry, I was just like,
I should have said my last 3 notes.
Sorry. Anyways, though, it is my turn to TLDR. So TLDR for this reaction is, first of all, congratulations to Just Be on your debut. If you couldn't tell from our reaction, we really enjoyed it. Well, it was very impactful. Peyton has adopted new K-pop children. I am still processing this song, but clearly it had a really big impact on us, left a very strong impression. So I'm really excited for their first comeback because I need closure.
I hope you don't have to wait too long.
I know.
But that being said, if you also were really impacted by Just Be's debut Damage and you want to talk more about it, you want to come tell us more about them because I'm about to have to go learn everything about them, or you just want to talk about K-pop, Bang Young-guk, anything really, then come find us on our socials, which are linked in the cards. And if you enjoyed this reaction video, then please like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and bye!